Chapter 13. Yoga Asanas. Getting high off your own body. At its simplest explanation, the brain is the mechanism through which the mind operates. The mind is the mechanism through which consciousness expresses itself. Consciousness holds all the impressions and samskaras from your present and past incarnations. Using the tools of the mind to clean and purify the conditioned consciousness, chitta, enables you to reach pure consciousness, chit. The body is the vehicle for all of it. Consciousness pervades the whole human form as energy, not just the mind. The mind is just the washing machine for consciousness to purify and see itself. The body and the breath are vehicles for consciousness, energy, to move freely throughout the form, pervading every cell and system, so that it may operate to the will of pure consciousness, known also as your soul. The will of pure consciousness seeks to create balance, peace, and joy all the way down to the cellular level. Once attained, consciousness then uses the entire human form to experience life and express its will from a place of non-attachment. As I glided towards the cove, I was beginning to understand that there were so many problems in the world. Slavery, poverty, mental illness, disease, suicide, violence, depression, hunting. I could probably spend an entire day reciting all of the ills that plagued the human world as it stood today, especially those facing children. And yet the root and solution to every problem began and ended with the human. And not just any human, the grown human, who without breaking their karmic cycles, unbeknownst to themselves, then gave birth to another human onto whom they passed on all their luggage, thereby ensuring that the karmic cycle of their suffering continued in their children. Most humans are unaware that the foundation of the children they germinated into life was primarily influenced by their behaviors, thoughts, and actions. Ask any aware, enlightened human what they uncovered as the source of their suffering, and the answer would most likely lie in their childhood. Therefore, where humans really need to start to create change is with children. If humans wanted to survive and not destroy the planet in the process, they would have to raise a generation of children who loved themselves and engaged in yamas and yamas from a young age. I knew yoga was enormous, but there is a place where every human can start the journey, whether they be adult or child, and that place is the mat. The underrated mat would be the star of the story today. There would also be a surprise narrator that many humans were very connected to, but just not in the way we wanted them to be. As I dove into the cove with a full belly and used the air to carry me to that place of magic, I was excited to see that telepathy was beginning to work its wonder. Every morning and every evening I sat in silence and brought my wings together over my heart. I then began to visualize the human and send him thoughts of love. It started off with the human, but over time it extended to all of humanity. I understood the power of my thoughts and the energy that they carried to great distances. And I also knew most humans were weak and succumbed easily to suggestions. Knowing all of this, I used the power of thought to send out love daily, hoping to override all the nonsense they took for truth and all the negativity they kept feeding their minds. As I arrived in the cove, there was a radiance that could not be touched but could only be felt. We had become a meeting place where we all felt safe and where collectively our energy and our thoughts were creating shifts on the planet. Our individual power was collectively exploding into a light so powerful that was touching all of nature across the planet. I greeted ocean and its residents first, then earth, sun, and finally all the other energetic beings. I scanned the landscape and found Corey swimming with a shark, a sight I knew I would see one day. I turned to the whistle function in me and began to whistle a tune to allow for a gentle settling into silence. As Corey emerged from the water, I nearly choked on the air being ridden on by my tune. We'd become so used to seeing humans in clothes that their natural form was a bit of a happy shock for all of us. Once humans had openly shown their form and had sat comfortably in their bodies. Religion had covered it up and in doing so had sexualized it. I wondered whether if the universe had created each human to have multiple colors as it had in the rest of nature, would the human world look so different? Would it have been harder for humans to use their definitions of black and white, dark and light to segregate the human species? As silence was uncovered beneath all the noise, just as our soul showed itself as the mind quietened, I watched Corey saunter over to the elephants and lay his back against them. He had put on clothes much to all of our disappointments because he was uncomfortable in his own form. I was not sure if he was moving to a place of deep connection to us, or if we were conditioning him to believe that he was one of us. As we settled in, cow, rooster, and pig arrived. In a way, they were our ambassadors. They most often featured in the human world, just not the way we would have liked. We all understood the eating of each other to survive, but the average human ate 3 meals a day and often in quantities that were above and beyond their survival. When they did, they were unknowingly engaging in violence. They were killing. Welcome, my fellow beings. As always, I am humbled by the trek you take every month to learn about the human. Today, we welcome cow, rooster, and pig as we begin the journey into asanas. We watched as all 3 of them made their way to Corey and sat down beside him. They knew that every day he ate one of their species and not just to survive. Before we begin, Corey, there are some terms you should understand. The autonomous nervous system has 2 known branches, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. There is a 3rd system, but that is for another day. In humans, your sympathetic nerves are at the core of your survival system, your fight and flight response. They spring from the middle of the spinal system at the first thoracic vertebra 1 to 12 to the lumbar region 1 to 3. The system evolved to protect humans from life and death situations, which does not include deadlines at work, plumbing issues, relationship woes, and all those other events that humans falsely treat as life and death situations. It was meant, for instance, for when one of us was chasing you. Now, when this happens, your analytical brain goes for a beer, your emotional brain goes nuts, and all your blood goes to your extremities. For example, your eyes dilate and reduce your peripheral vision so you can focus on your attacker. You begin to crave sugar because your body wants that sugar for your muscles, thereby putting a halt to the absorption and processing of sugar by your cells. All the happy bees, as I imagine them, that work on your digestive, immune, regulatory system stop working, pick up spears, and head for your extremities to prepare for survival. But worst of all, your body starts to dump cortisol from your adrenal gland, which is in the long term results in diabetes, digestive problems, memory loss, high blood pressure, weight gain, and a drop in your immune system among a host of other ailments and diseases. Human, when your body is under constant stress and it believes that it is at war or being chased by a shark, all the above takes place. When this happens, your vibration lowers as your cells, organs, etc. are not getting enough oxygen from your shallow and rapid breath. Your systems stop working efficiently as the bees go to battle and you get stuck in low-frequency feelings of fear, anxiety, depression, anger, and an inability and irritability among a host of other emotions. Please know that your sympathetic system is not bad at all. There is a fabulous activation of this system when you take long and rapid inhales during moments of good stress that releases adrenaline and not cortisol in you. When this happens, what wells up from the depths of you are unique creativity and positive energy. Now, your parasympathetic system is your calm healing system and the state in which everything works as it should. Well, without you having to go to an opium den to induce relaxation and calmness. In this system, your analytical brain, your buddhi, can operate from a place of awareness. This system slithers out from the medulla in your brain and from the sacral region of your spinal cord. It is linked to your exhale. And when activated, it tells your body that there is no external threat and all is safe and good. When this happens, all your organs, glands, and systems can work at 100% to heal, rejuvenate, and restore you. It is in this state that you can switch on and off your genes, specifically those linked to genetic diseases. When this system is activated, you are immersed in feelings of calmness, peace, kindness, and gratitude. Now, Corey, as we meander along this story, we will go deeper into these systems. I find it helps humans to know what is going on in their bodies when they practice the limbs of yoga. Yeah, erupted Hawk. Very important stuff here. Few humans understand the body that carries their soul. It is amazing how you walk around all day not knowing your own machine and expecting someone else to fix it when it falters. One day, Corey, you must tell us why it is that humans just don't want to know themselves. Before Corey could answer, Cow turned to him and asked in his softest moo, Yes, Corey. Hello. Good evening. Maybe you could also tell us why you humans enjoy eating me and my friends here just for pleasure. I have no doubt that if one of us ate you for pleasure, we would be shot. Well, stuttered Corey, it's because you all taste so good. What? There was a collective gasp in the cove. For a moment, we all stared at the human as if seeing him for the first time. I was joking. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Humans eat you because you taste so darn good. Well, well, oinked Pig, who'd been rolling on the ground, scratching an itch. You would not mind if I took a bite out of you then? I mean, I'm full, and there's really no need to. But hey, I'm willing to try you for pleasure. Corey looked up at me to save him. I just shrugged. There are consequences for every word, thought, and action that rose from him and into the universe. Ah, Pig, stop messing with the human, cackled Rooster. It's okay, Mr. Human. He ain't gonna eat you. You don't factor into our survival that way. But it would be nice if you understood that we have souls, feelings, and are living beings just like you, in a different form. Corey bowed his head in surrender. Pig came over and kissed him while Cow licked his face and Rooster did a little cock-a-doodle-doo dance around the human. Corey melted into laughter and knew that he would never again look at the meat on his plate the same way. Okay, settle down you two. Get your face off the human, doodled Rooster. Eagle has asked me to begin the story of Asanas today, even though there is no rooster pose. Not sure why that is. I'm a fine specimen of strength and flexibility, he claimed as he did a little line dance on the earth to the amusement of all of us. The cove settled down, ocean calmed its surface, and Rooster expanded his chest and began. Asanas. Asanas, when taught correctly, are a journey into yoga. Each pose challenges you on every level to accept, surrender, and move energy, and to slowly work your way through the poses that challenge you the most, to observe all that rises to the surface in those poses. Although asana practice is just a small part of yoga, in today's world it has become important as the human body stagnates from sitting in a chair or a couch for a large part of the day. In the Yoga Sutras, asanas only hold a few pages. I believe this is because way back in the day, humans were more active and healthier. Today, few humans sit in contemplation or meditate as their bodies do not allow for it. They suffer from back and neck pain, inflammation of the joints, and a buildup of toxins from the lack of movement and poor diet. It is for this reason that we will spend a little more time on asanas than was originally set out in the Yoga Sutras. Asana literally means a seat. So, a steady, comfortable posture. Asanas prepare one's body to sit in the stillness required for meditation. In conjunction with breath focus and the use of bandhas, which are the locking of limbs to direct energy in a certain direction, the physical practice of yoga aims to remove toxins, sluggishness, and laziness from the body, but also to energetically open the flow of all 72,000 nadis, or energy channels, by removing blockages and bringing your body's energy back into alignment with the cosmic energy. Asanas create the strength and flexibility to meditate without your body constantly pulling your attention and energy to it. So it does not scream, "Get me out of this sitting position." Each asana also massages the organs and glands in the body to keep them working efficiently. The blockages I speak of in the body are the mounds of negativity that you humans ingest daily because you do not understand that thoughts and emotions block energy in the body and leave it feeling heavy. The mat is also a place where you, the human, can begin to remove the kleshas, the coloring of your impressions. In every pose, you should observe what rises to the top of your waking consciousness as you open your body and release all that is buried in every cell from your connective tissues to your muscles. Once observed, you should let go of it and return to your breath. Every time you choose not to give energy and attention to anything negative, you are starting to burn those seeds and moving them back to neutral. At its basis level, asana practices start to bring your body back into alignment as if you were straightening out a rolled up twisted hosepipe, to allow the energy to flow uninhibited through you. So many of your human bodies are twisted and out of alignment these days from sitting in front of computers, mobile screens, steering wheels, and TVs. Rooster demonstrated this by sticking his head between his legs. It inspired giggles across the cove. With the use of breath, you push energy through you in a calm, rhythmic manner, rather than sporadically or fanatically. With each full, deep inhale, you stimulate your good, sympathetic, energetic, creative nervous system. And with each complete exhale, you ignite the calming, healing, parasympathetic nervous system. This brings your nervous system into balance and prevents you from harming yourself. You cannot and should not start any asana practice when you are angry and stressed because the harm to yourself will be grand. Low-frequency emotions increase the tension in your muscles, which leads to chronic contractions and spasms. This occurs due to a lack of oxygen and blood supply to your muscles. When this happens, you begin to see an increase in lactic acid in the muscles and blood. This chemical then sprints to the brain to tell it that it is stressed, which then increases the tension in your muscles even more, resulting in muscular pain, strains, etc. This is why in yoga you should start any practice with breathing and awareness exercises to calm and quieten you before embarking on the journey of asanas. It is also why you are always asked to visualize sending all the oxygen you are inhaling to the area you are stretching or strengthening. Asanas truly are a dance between your breath, your body, and your mind. You inhale to lift yourself, giving your muscles, the joints, oxygen to lift you, and exhale either when you move downwards to relax your muscles into a stretch or when strengthening to remove all the carbon dioxide and stress from the muscle. This slowly allows all that is buried in your cells to be set free. To do this, you must be present and aware in every movement and pose. Only then will you gain the full benefits of a yoga asana practice that is fundamentally different from just stretching. Understand that muscular contractions, like how your shoulders are always trying to hug your ears or touch your chest, are massive energy blockers. They reduce blood flow, increase inflammation, and reduce the intake of nutrients by your muscles. It's why sitting hunched over for hours is so detrimental for your health. As your body contracts and your breath becomes erratic and shallow, the diaphragm has no space to lower and expand. Therefore, only the top part of your lungs has space to move. This leads to a dramatic reduction in the flow of oxygen and blood to your entire body, which sends your mind into a tailspin and affects the release of such hormones and neurotransmitters in your body, such as serotonin, cortisol, endorphins, dopamine, all of which serve to increase your immune system, your emotional, mental, and physical health, and most importantly, your sanity. After calming the mind with the breath and bringing it into the present, most asana practices begin with a sun salutation. These are guided and coordinated movements with your breath. Each salutation moves your muscles and joints, increasing the flow of blood and oxygen through your body, as well as feeding such parts of your body as your spinal discs and your joints, where there's little to no direct blood flow, such that only through movement and osmosis are they fed. The body is the starting point for the meditative journey into yourself. Therefore, when you practice yoga, asanas, there are some things to be aware of. Your body should feel firm but comfortable. There should be no tightness, tension, or discomfort, and you should be able to comfortably stay in an asana for a length of time. There's a good chance that if it is not happening, that your ego is performing the pose and that you are engaging in your mind and not your breath. When this happens, the entire benefit of the practice is lost on you. While in that slightly uncomfortable, comfortable pose, your mind should be focused on your breath. For example, by holding each pose for 5 breaths, counting up to 4 on the inhale and back to 1 on the exhale. Appreciate each pose as an opportunity to train your mind to focus on one thing. Lastly, the breath should be constant, the inhale matching the exhale as it flows smoothly throughout the body. Yet, there should also be a sense of freedom within a pose, to move and adjust within the following boundaries. The skeleton, especially the spine, should be locked and aligned, and the joints locked into place. There should be no grinding or pain. You should avoid sitting directly on the earth because the earth is a conductor of energy, and unless all 9 of your energy-losing holes are closed and your bandhas locked, the energy you are unlocking will seep out of you. Those 9 holes are your ears, nose, mouth, eyes, anus, and genitalia. It is also important that asanas are practiced in a clean space devoid of any stimulus that may draw your senses and hence your energy outward. Cows, goats, beer, music, and swimming pools are just no-nos. Such practices should not be called yoga, but should be called anything but yoga. In addition to this, humans should practice in a place that is neither hot nor cold. The aim is to minimize sensations that draw your mind and hence your energy. For where your attention goes is where your energy will flow. The whole practice is about not only accepting the limitations of your body, not judging your body, being kind to your body, but also understanding that you are not your body. Surrender to a pose, especially one that challenges you, to know that all you can do is breathe through it, accept it, and know the limitations of the asanas beyond your control in that moment. What is in your control, however, is your breath and the knowledge that in time, the pose that challenges you the most will be the ones you come to love, because you will have taken a long and inspiring journey through it of learning unattachment, surrender, acceptance, and letting go. Rooster, I gently interrupted her flow. If it is okay with you, can we stop here today? The orangutan will pick up the story at the next full moon. It is getting late, and I thought we could end with an Om meditation. Rooster stopped prancing, and all 3 of them explained, "Yeah," in unison, as really, compared to all of us, their suffering was enormous. I knew Corey felt uncomfortable, and that was good. Uncomfortable-like emotions is a flare sent out by the mind that something needs further investigation and change. Okay, everybody. Find your meditative positions. Make sure your spine is elongated, your jaw and face are relaxed, and your eyes are resting on your heart or third eye. We will do 7 A's resonating from the chest, 7 U's resonating from the throat, and 7 M's emanating from your head, followed by 7 complete Oms. Please follow my pace and rhythm so that we are all in sync. By being present and aware, you may in this meditation begin to feel your form disappear into vibrating energy. And so we began. Words could not describe the sound and the feeling of connectivity to everything. The bliss and energy that arose out of us collectively was magnificent. There was no words, and therefore I used none.